Hello and welcome to today's episode of Comms Business Live, where we'll be discussing how to unlock channel-led growth. I'm Charlotte, editor of Comms Business, and I'm delighted to be joined by Joel Neeb, Chief Transformation and Business Operations Officer, and Emily Masterton, Head of Channel in EMEA, both at 8x8. Welcome, Joel and Emily.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charlotte. Nice to see you.
You too. So strong and fulfilling partnerships are at the heart of channel success. How has 8x8 been improving the channel experience for your partners?
Over the past 30 years, we've learned our customers inside and out. We understand why they buy, how they buy, what products resonate with them. And we want to scale that knowledge to our channel ecosystem. And so Emily's leading this effort to make sure that the same reasons we're successful with direct sales are available for them. And we're leaning into their training, into their tools that we offer them to make them successful, because ultimately we're deeply connected with their success, just as we're connected with their actual direct customer success. And we have conversations all the time about how we can solve our channel partners' problems as quickly as possible.
Thanks, Joel. To interlace into that, I think it's, 8x8, we're leading it as a partner-first business. Joel said that we're taking the knowledge and learning that we're getting from what we're doing with our customers and with our salespeople to pass it on to our partners. One thing I think is really important is we see our partners as our extended sales team. So Joel is doing great work to make sure all the tools that he provides available to us internally, we can start to empower our partners with. So our salespeople will work side by side with our partners to make sure that they can work through understanding their customers' pain points, their outcomes, build value maps with them so that they can truly take their customers on a journey of transformation. And that's what we're doing from a sales standpoint. But also I think it's important to say, we're looking at the overall channel experience for our partners. So we're making sure that we're easy to do business with. How can we get our AI to improve our processes and the portals that we work with our partners? So we're looking to interlace that throughout. And then on that front end, on demand generation, what can we be doing from a marketing standpoint, doing intent-based data to make sure that they are really prioritizing how they're working with their customers as well.
Absolutely. And AI is obviously really important to the work that 8x8 is doing, especially with its partners. So what would you say is kind of particularly unique about 8x8's approach to using AI?
So as we approach AI, I'll start off with what we're not doing. We don't want to make the same mistakes that many others are making right now with AI, which is to say, I'm basically sprinkling some AI magic dust on my existing processes and make things a little bit better, make my slideshow a little bit prettier, make my email a little more succinct, which is how a lot of companies are leveraging AI in this moment. What we're doing instead is we're resisting the temptation to bring AI into the conversation until we've done the blocking and tackling and the important things that every business just needs to do in general. What do I mean by that? As I consider how to best support the partner ecosystem, what I need to first do is map out their entire experience with us first. What are each of the steps as they do a deal registration, as they proceed along that opportunity, as they have interactions with us back and forth internally? And we look at those steps and we map them out in exquisite detail, like a process flow chart. Let's say it's 40 steps. So now we visualize what all those steps are. The next thing we want to do is we want to optimize that experience. We want to remove the sand from the gears, make it as frictionless as possible. So we still haven't said the word AI yet. I want to go from 40 steps down to 25 so that we can streamline that. We can shorten the sales cycle. We can optimize their experience with us. And then and only then does AI come up, because at this point I can start to see in an optimized business process, where's the bottleneck? Where's that thing that I have to do over and over again that I don't like doing, that frustrates me, but it would actually impact business if I did it more? And I want to find that instance, that step 17, whatever that is. And that's what we're going to leverage with AI to build in some automations and allow us to go even faster through the process. So we'll cut it down to 20 steps. We'll optimize that 17th step if that's the bottleneck, and then we'll allow that sales cycle to accelerate even faster. And then on the other side of the equation, what we're doing with AI is we're helping to train with it. So I'll give you a quick example from my past. I spent the first 15 years of my career as a fighter pilot. which meant that, every time I put myself up in the sky, I was putting my life on the line, and, I was risking the mission success based on how well prepared I was for that moment. And of course, that's a pretty expensive, risky scenario. Just like when we get in front of customers or partners, every moment is a risky scenario in the sense that if we're not on point and we don't have the preparation we need to be successful, we might risk that customer success story collaboratively that we're pursuing. And so in order to prepare for that in flight, what I would do is flight simulators. And so on the ground, where my life's not at risk, there's not a mission at risk, I would go through the process of simulating that experience over and over and over again until I could do it in my sleep. We offer the same thing to our teams internally. We have sales simulators that we train our teams to that are based off of actual customer transcripts. So they get to experience, the hair on the back of your neck rising when you get that objection in the call or that competitor call out, and maybe a features that you have to describe. And we go through that process on the ground so that we're ready when we're in front of the customer. We offer that same type of simulated training through AI for our partner ecosystem as well.
I think one thing that's important to add as well, you're talking on enablement, is absolutely key, Joel, because the pace of innovation is fast right now. Our partners work with multiple vendors, so we need to make sure that we are giving them enablement tools so they can learn in different ways, because lots of people absorb information differently. But also giving them the tools at their fingertips so that they can be strategic advisors, even when things are innovating at pace and vendors' portfolios are getting wider. So we're really conscious of making sure that we keep their enablement journey as simple as possible, but making sure that they are empowered as much as possible for their customers.
No,
I'll add to that.
There's a good balance.
One thing to build on what Emily said, it's not just enablement towards products. I think the mistake a lot of companies make is we're going to teach you product features, and there has to be some of that. Of course, you're teaching them about products and you're giving them that knowledge, but we're also teaching them about the customer experience. Once again, we're scaling what we've learned internally about when, how, where, and why our customers buy from us, and teaching our partner ecosystem the same things: the buying signs, the churn signs, the challenge signs, the opportunities to overcome those challenges, so that they can benefit from the 30 years of lessons that we built into our success.
No, I like that. I guess it's about making people comfortable with pressure at times when there's no pressure. So when the pressure's on, it's not going to break them.
Exactly.
So Emily, your role as head of channel in EMEA involves taking that company level approach and making it really relevant to partners in this region.
Yep.
How is your approach to feeding that through to EMEA and more specifically the UK?
So there's lots of ways to look at it. First of all, I think it's really important to say that 8x8 has a lot of in-region support. So in the UK, we have, to support our partners, we obviously have, my team, the partner managers, we have sales, we have account managers, we have marketing, we have enablement, we have support, we have the whole breadth in region. So they have that local knowledge off the bat of the people that they're communicating with. Because I still think, there's that personal touch that we never want to get away with our partners. The other thing is what we have to build in is, the great news is Joel and his team are building the tools for us. So they can build in the regional differences, from whether that might be competitive, whether it might be verticals, compliance, regulatory requirements that are needed for customers, building in the use cases that we see specifically in region. Joel can build that all into the tools so that it can really, really support the UK and EMEA regions. Also, one thing I think is really key that 8x8 pushes for, and is our partners empower us with, is that we are really, really keen on feedback. We regularly check in with our partners. We want to hear what's happening in the market, what they're seeing with the customers, the outcomes and the pain points they're being asked for by their customers, so that we can bring it back in and make sure that we tailor, one, the outcomes our solutions are delivering, but also the tools that we provide to give them the knowledge on our solution set and how working with 8x8.
And what has been 8x8's approach to building further trust with partners?
you want me to take that one, Joel? Or do you want to take
Sure.
that? Yeah. I'm big on trust. Trust and accountability are two major things for me within how we work with our partners, because I think trust and accountability bring partnership, build partnership. And it isn't just about, we turn up to partners and we make lots of promises. I'm a big believer in we do what we say we're going to do, first and foremost. And we instill that through our team. We also make sure that we consistently deliver on expectations, and we set clear expectations on timeframes and guidelines and processes. I've spent a lot of time building, I do like a process, I'm afraid. I've spent a lot of time building in processes into how we operate with our partners, but so that they truly understand the journey that they go on with us and that they can trust that process. So we have clear rules of engagement around how we do deal registration and deal protection and how they work through that sales cycle with us. I'll bring back round to what I said at the start of the call, is we truly lead with a partner first mentality, and that is, or not mentality, mindset. And that's not just a mindset for the sales org, it's a mindset business wise. So we instill that, and I will tell my partners to hold me accountable to that and my team accountable to that if they're not seeing that. So I think that's, we really want to stand up to the same things that we are doing. And the other thing I think as well is it long-term, I'm a big believer in partnerships, and trust gets built over time. We've got a lot of partners that have been with us for many, many years, and I want to continue that momentum and drive mutual growth and success with us over the years ahead.
And I'll build on that to say that at its core, I think that trust is built with two things. It's built with relationship and repeatability.
Yeah.
Meaning, how connected do I feel with that team, with that person? Have I built the rapport? Have I built the relationship that I can fall back on when times get tough? And then repeatability. To Emily's point, do I have the processes behind the scenes that allow me to see the scalability, that we can go through this together, that we can anticipate what's going to happen in the future, that there's consistency to this? Those two elements are critical. And Emily spoke to them and how much we're investing in that right now. So the relationship aspect, we're living with our customers. We're learning about their pain points. We're understanding them as if they were our customer, just like we do with our direct customers. And then on the other side of the equation, everything we learn internally builds out the repeatability in the process and the checklists and the scalability that we can then translate over to the partner ecosystem as well.
And are there any other aspects that you would say are vital to helping to deliver growth in the channel?
So first of all, what I think is important is we have different ways to work with partners. We have different partner models. We have what we call agency, and we also have what we call our resale partners. So first of all, as a vendor, we listen to our partners and understand the best way to work with them, because that's how you're going to drive growth. We work the best way with them that supports their business and how they operate with their customers. So that's first of all, we've got different types of partner models. The other thing is as well is, we're bringing out a partner program in our next financial year that is a true growth enabler for our partners. It will take them on a journey from everything from enablement to what they're doing with their existing base with 8x8, new customers, how we're making our wider portfolio available to them. So I really, really think growth enablers have to be built through programs as well. I think it's also important to say that we're doing a number of other initiatives where we bring our partners together, yet again, so that we can share feedback in our partner community, so that we can make sure that we are driving as much success for them, from everything we're learning internally to what we're learning with our partners. We're sharing that to make sure that they can get as much growth in the right direction. And yet again, what else is vital? I keep talking back to that feedback point. We have feedback points with our partners, from when I sit in front of them, to my team sitting in front of them, to sales sitting in front of them, product sitting in front of them, our support team, so that we can ensure that we're hearing from them what they are seeing in the market, but also where we need to improve to help them drive growth. So I think they're really important points.
And I'll build on that to say two things. One, the word that Emily used is really important, journey. And the second piece that I'll come to is how we close that feedback loop faster than anyone else. For the journey aspect of it, we take our customers, our direct customers' journey very seriously. We have 15 product lines now at 8x8, and that's a lot to sell. And we run the risk of looking like a seller that, on the street that opens up their jacket and says, look at these 15 things I've got, which one do you want? And I'll tell you about the great features of each one. And instead of just hawking products, what we tell them instead is, you're going to go on a journey with us. Your journey will most likely start with communicating with your teams internally. There's typically the foot in the door aspect is, I need UC, I need to connect all my employees internally. And so we need to establish that. Well, when we do that, we know that will expose, not create, but expose the problem to solve, which next will be, hey, this is great. My employees are connected. I wish I had some analytics around this. I wish I understood how long I kept my customers in queue for, what my routing looks like for my communications. And we say, great, we've got products and technology and service teams that will help you to create the ability to see analytics around all that communication. And then most likely you're going to say, this is fantastic. I need to have more customer focused communication. Let's talk about a contact center. And so we have a 5-stage journey. We're going to take our customers along for the ride with us. And that 5th stage is going to be amazing because each stage builds on itself and then also builds on a platform of communications intelligence. We're approaching our partners the same way. There's a journey. As long as they want to go on this journey with us, we have different stages in that journey where we go even deeper in the relationship, even deeper in the value that we're providing end customers along that path. And then to Emily's point about closing the feedback loop, in the past, we would close the feedback loop by sending out surveys, right? And saying, give us feedback on how we're doing. Or maybe we go visit them and we sit down with them and we take out our pad of paper and we take notes while we do that. We're entering a world where NPS surveys will be obsolete. NPS surveys have been the gold standard for how you're doing with performance and customer satisfaction for the past 20 years. The single question is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to recommend this vendor to somebody else? We're moving away from that because we understand that we're entering an era where I don't need a single survey with a single question. I can actually take the context from our conversations. We record every conversation that takes place internally and externally so that we can then use those conversations to extract communication insights. And so it's no longer a matter of when are we getting in front of that partner in the next quarter so that we can have a snapshot of a moment in time of their feedback, but rather how can our product team, for example, who very often isn't in a lot of those meetings, take a look at these recorded conversations, extract the insights from the transcripts via AI, identify product iterations that our end customers need, identify better ways to provide enablement and nuances and contexts that our human minds can't even expose on their own. We're now leveraging AI to extract that for us and close that feedback loop in real time instead of once a quarter.
Absolutely. So you're really getting value out of every interaction.
Exactly.
Well, I was going to say one thing to add as well, in terms of, if our partners succeed, we're succeeding. So if they're growing, we're growing. I was talking about it earlier in terms of they're part of our extended team. One thing that, I really am proud of is from a sales perspective, our sales team really get to know the partner, really get to know how they operate, what they can offer for their customers. So when they are in front of customers, I've often had some of my partners come to me and say that the sales team actually end sentences for each other because they know so much about each other and they work in partnership. And why I highlight this is it's, a lot of our partners can bring that full managed service wrap as well. So they go into a customer and where they're going to be looking at what they want to be doing for their communication strategy, what they want to be doing for CX, but then pulling in what they need to be doing for security and data, etc., etc. So when we can truly drive growth with our partners is when we're in step with one another. And what Joel's doing by building out that journey really ensures that we are.
Absolutely. So for anyone watching who likes what they hear, what can they expect kind of once they get in touch with you? Kind of what are the best first steps?
Yeah, thank you, Charlotte. So first of all, I have a team of people from a new partner standpoint that will meet with the partner, get to understand them and their business. And I talked about we had multiple different types of partner models, truly understand the the outcomes they want to deliver from this partnership, what are their objectives, what's the journey that they want to go on, and we'll make sure that we align the right partner model for them. So that will be the first thing. So making sure that we take them on the right journey. Then what we would then obviously do is we go through, we've got everything from partner programs, how, what's the expected investment, what are the goals that we want to achieve. And once we've got that foundation in place, we have a team of onboarding people to take partners on that onboarding journey from an enablement standpoint, both from sales, technical support, deployment. We've got all of those journeys mapped out. The length of those journeys depends on the different types of partners that we bring on board. But once that's established, the partner is aligned with one of our channel account managers, who is their day-to-day person. But that channel account manager I often see as a conductor, because they make sure that the partner's getting the best service from everything around the different business units that they operate with. So they'll be working with sales, we'll then pull in marketing so that we build out marketing plans, how we can do co-marketing together, which is essential. What we do from a support standpoint, what we do from enablement, because enablement is continual. So then they'll get into the journey of becoming an 8x8 partner. It is, I mentioned it earlier, we have regular meetings, we do QBRs, we check back on what our growth objectives and outcomes that we always want to achieve together. We make sure that we're feeding back, and that, we're going to make sure that we take them on that journey so that they ultimately achieve the outcomes that they set for at the start. So mutual success is what's key.
Now, I would add to that we're going to ask a lot of our partners, and we do that in an excited way. What I mean by that is, I'm a big fan of elite teams. And for me, the definition of an elite team is one in which you feel like you're a part of a team accomplishing something bigger than you could do on your own, and you kind of feel like you don't deserve to be on that team, right? You remember those times in the past where you're like, wow, everybody's super impressive. This is a great group of people, and I don't know how I snuck onto this team. We all have that little voice in the back of our head saying that. And the best teams I've ever been on, everyone has that voice in the back of their head, but everybody's buckled up and ready to go for this journey together. Because one thing I know for sure, that this is not a one and done. You don't get to attend one session with us and then you understand everything about how to sell our products. The world is moving so fast right now, and technology is changing so much, and the adoption gap is expanding. I mean, technology is moving like this, and our ability to adopt it is moving like this. We need to help close that gap together and stay as closely connected as possible. And we're going to move fast, and it's going to be scary at times, and we're going to go on an exhilarating ride together. But when we're done, we're going to deliver some amazing things with the immense amount of work we put in for our ecosystem and our end partners.
Agreed. So I think, ultimately we are looking for, you raised it earlier, Charlotte, trusted long-term partnership. And that's us really working in tandem together. We've mentioned the word a number of times. It's a journey we go on, but I'm really pleased to say, a number of our partners have been with us many, many years, and if a new partner came on board, I'd hope that would be the same success story we would have with them as well.
And it does sound like, from what both of you have highlighted, this is about getting technology to work as hard as it possibly can, but also not underestimating the importance of that human connection in business, and kind of making the two work together.
100%. Couldn't agree more.
Absolutely. Humans more important than ever. I think we make the mistake of seeing AI and technology in general as replacing us in this moment. And what we have to realize is technology is replacing the menial tasks that we didn't like to do, and it's automating some of the things that we can do even faster. But that actually exposes more time for us to do the stuff that makes us most human, to lead our teams, to communicate with others, to build those types of relationships we always wanted to have. And let's be honest, those are the things we wanted to do when we joined business teams in the beginning. We didn't all dream of building Excel spreadsheets and having email sessions back and forth. We wanted to do the human aspects, and AI and technology, when used the right way, frees up our time to do the critical thinking that we always wanted to do in the first place.
Absolutely. So that does bring us to the end of today's episode of Comms Business Live. Thanks so much, Joel and Emily, for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you, Charlotte.
Thanks, Charlotte.
If anyone watching wants to follow up with Joel, Emily and the 8x8 team, there is a link in the video description to connect you with the right people. But otherwise, thanks for joining us and goodbye.